Amin, Amin, Ya Rabbal Alamin. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Syazwanie Mansor, your moderator, and we are here today for another series of webinar in collaboration between Academy of Language Studies UiTM Kedah and ILD UiTM Kedah, which is Writing and Publishing a Book, Blood, Sweat and Tears of Joy. Di samping platform utama kita di sini, Google Meet, kita juga sebenarnya agak santai, jadi anda boleh menggunakan bahasa Melayu atau bahasa Inggeris untuk berkomunikasi. Jika anda ada soalan yang ingin diutarakan, anda boleh terus menekan butang unmute atau raise hand dan bertanya terus kepada penceramah. Dan bagi peserta di Facebook dan YouTube, jangan risau, anda boleh terus menaik soalan di ruangan komen dan saya akan bacakan Section 17 in 1998 for about 2 years. Then she moved to UiTM Kedah here to teach until now. She had published her 2 academic books, which are Developing Reading Skills, published by Oxford, with Associate Professor Aloya Jahawi, and Critical Reading Skills
as well here. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for making time to attend the session today. So as Dr. Syazwanie said just now, session is more of a sharing session. And also I think I prefer it to be a conversation between me and the rest who are present today. For this session, also we have in FB as well and YouTube too. Before I begin, I would like to thank our KPP, Encik Azlan Abdul Rahman, for giving me this opportunity to give for this session today, and also my colleagues from the department for their encouragement. And I think it's not too late to wish all our Muslim colleagues Selamat Hari Raya. Okay, I think it's still Shawwal. So I'm going to begin with my slides. So before that, if you have any questions, like what Dr. Syazwanie mentioned just now, if you have any questions, please type. You can, I will try to answer during the presentation itself. Like, I think it's better not to wait till the end. So no problem. You can always interrupt, like if there's anything for you to ask or to clarify, it's fine. And I would also like to mention that they are untrue. It may not necessarily reflect what others have experienced. Every experience is different, but this is something that is something that I have gone through and I most probably would like to share with others. So please feel free to give comments, to give ideas, because I believe that we always learn from others. And people have wonderful ideas that they can actually share and improve our writing skills as well. Okay, with that I will start. I'll just present my slide. So kalau ada dalam and publishing a book, actually it's the phrase blood, sweat, and tears of joy, I think on my end is just, I was a literature student before, so I think it just got stuck to me, the kind of writing style that we use. It's not it's not an exaggeration to say the least, but that's how it is. Okay, so as Wawa told everyone just now, my name is Bawani, from UiTM Kedah. So I've been here for the past almost I would say about 22 years in Kedah. All right. And prior to that, 2 years in PPP, Shah Alam, Section 17. I think now it's called Intech. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. Good writing is hard work, which I think all of us would agree upon. I mean, nothing comes easy in life. And, especially when we want to write, it's not that easy. Okay, I mean, I would subscribe to this, but then I also have my own take on it. Okay, so it is, no matter how difficult it is rewarding. At the end of the day, it is rewarding. So I think that is something that all of us should keep in mind. We do something at the end of the day. It's not that reward and rewarding, I think, a bit too different here. The context is a bit different. It's not that we're looking for reward of some kind, but it is rewarding. At the end of the day, when you see your book being published, it makes you happy. It makes the co-authors, the people who work with you happy, the publisher, and people who actually use your book, So it is rewarding in that way. I mean, you don't write in isolation. We have readers, So when readers use our books are being used and people refer to it, it is rewarding in that way. All right. Um, Earlier on, according to Snoopy, it requires good writing is hard work. Yes, it is. But then I would say anything requires work. So it does require work, and anybody can do it. Okay, anyone can write. So I think these are the uh, fundamental aspects in writing. So you can. So never, do not have doubts. All right, don't think you can't do or we can't write. It can be monumental in the beginning. Nampak macam susah ya, macam mana ni nak tulis and so on. But then don't have doubts. Okay, just go ahead, just proceed. All right. Um, the third point here that I would like to highlight is writing skills. Okay, no matter what, we have to have some kind of writing skills because you're writing a book. Without writing skills, you can't produce a book. Okay, let it be any kind of book. You have to have some kind of writing skills. All right. So you can't, we don't hire ghost writers. Macam I'm not so sure what this, what's the term in Malay. So ghost writer, somebody else who writes for us, and our name is on the book. So we don't hire ghost writers to write for us. We actually write it. Okay.
Dr. Bawani, sorry.
Yes.
I think your slide is not moving. Still in the first slide.
First slide. Okay, just
I
hold
think you
on.
have to.
Okay. Let me. So maybe I go full screen. Hold on.
I think you can go to full screen.
Okay. Oh, it didn't move from the first.
The cover, yeah. The
Oh, the
first
cover.
slide.
Oh dear. Okay. Let me see. Okay, if I share. How about now?
Yeah. Now I think in the third slide, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I went. Okay. I finished this just now. Okay. My second slide. So good writing is hard work. This is what I was talking about. Okay. So according to, Snoopy says that, I think to a certain extent I have to agree. It is hard work, but um, so the next part, it is rewarding. Okay. Syazwanie is okay, right? Wawa?
Yes, yes, it's moving
Okay,
already.
now it's okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, good. So it is rewarding that way. Okay. Um, and it's as I mentioned earlier, I mean it's a good thing when people read your book and they get something out of it. I think that is quite important. And just to sum up a bit, yeah, it requires work, but as I mentioned earlier, also anybody can write. Okay. So for those who are here, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some excellent writers who are present today. So you don't have to worry. Okay, so don't, I mean, for those who haven't started or who are trying to write, so do not have doubts, just go ahead, just do it. All right. And as I mentioned earlier, writing skills, because this is, you are writing, so you need some kind of writing skills. So let it be in terms of the content, in terms of language, in terms of organizing what you want to write. So you do need writing skills. Okay. And the last point here that I would like to make in this slide is enroll in writing classes if need be. Okay, especially for fiction, because I'm not an expert in fiction. So even me, if I want to try out something, which is, if you want to write fiction, so it is good to enroll in writing classes. Okay. As I was researching for this presentation today, so you can go online. There are, like, so many YouTube videos and so on that teaches you, like, from 5 steps how to write a book to right up to, I saw one up to 21 steps. So there are a wide range of information, details given on how to write books. Okay, so fiction is also interesting. I think as an academic, sometimes I'll move to the next one. Okay, so I think this is quite crucial as well. How do we see ourselves? So I think I have divided this into two. So one is professional. Okay. So in the professional in the professional context, so how do we see ourselves? All right. So as educators, academics in an institution or organization, any organization that you belong to, right? So professionally, this is what we do. This is our job. Okay. And the other part of it is in an institution, even in UiTM, you have non-academic staff. Non-academic staff pun boleh menulis. It's not an issue. Like in UiTM Kedah, I think one of our non-academic staff, Puan Hasriati, she's a very popular novelist. Okay. She also writes, and I think it has been made into drama and so on. So people do, non-academic, it's not about academic stuff. Oh, kalau pensyarah saja yang boleh menulis. There's no hard and fast rules. Anyone can write. Okay, and that from the professional point of view. The other would be personal. Okay, so we ourselves, we can be mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, friends. You as a wife, you as a husband, those who like to travel. You're a traveler, you're a backpacker. So on a personal level, so these are the things that we also do. We play multiple roles, we multitask. So if you want to write about this, by all means, go ahead. Actually, there's something I would like to share with you. As I mentioned just now, so this is just a conversation, a discussion, and a sharing session. So, I was like, we have this sort of this concrete idea that we have to write academic books, but there are a lot of other areas that we can also look at. Of course, yes, as what we do for our job, yes. But if you have something else in mind, okay, you have certain experiences with your children, special needs children, and so on. Okay, so you can always write a book. Because when I actually had a conversation with the publisher, they're one of the leading publishers as well. They publish a wide range of books. So I was asking him, so how about if you want to write, because we don't dare to venture into the personal stuff, so to speak. Okay, so when I asked him, like, how do you get this done? Is it possible? He said, like, because if you like to travel, for example. So I said, okay, I do travel. So can I put my experiences on the paper? So he said, yes. I think then I asked him, will it sell? He said, yes, it will sell. Okay. So these are the things that we are a bit reluctant to try, but go ahead, by all means, you can just start writing. Okay. And the publishers are quite welcoming actually for titles that are also non-academic. Okay. But since we belong to an academic institution, and in our capacity as a lecturer or a non-academic staff, just do go ahead. Moving on, so we have fiction and non-fiction type of books. Okay, since if you're doing more on a personal basis or something like that, then you can look at fictions. Okay, even as a lecturer, you can go ahead with fiction writing. So here, fiction is based on what I quoted from Oxford. So fiction is a type of literature that describes imaginary people and events. And okay, so you can go into novels and so on. Non-fiction, as what I have done. So you write books. Okay, then under non-fiction, you have articles, you have text. Okay, these are about real facts, people, events, so reference books, textbooks, and so on. So, it's a wide range of materials that you can write about. At the outset, also, I would like to thank basically two important people who were instrumental in me writing the book. So one is Dr. Asfahani. She was the one, who sort of like started and contacted the publishers, and they were writing already. So through her, we also got the interest to write. And Associate Professor Aloya Jari, who I've been writing with for the two books. Okay, so the important thing, is similar to do like what you do research, or the similar method. So you need to have a purpose. Okay, this purpose, you need to solidify the purpose, which will help you to, which will carry you throughout the process. So why do you want to write a book? So it's always a question of why. Okay. So I think firstly, as an academic or even non-academic, I'm not going there so much at the moment. So as a lecturer, so you're teaching certain codes, certain subjects, certain papers. So you, by right, we are some kind of authority in that particular area. Okay. The credibility comes along with it. So you can share your expertise, the knowledge that you have, and the years of our teaching experience, the years that you have been teaching. So all this gives us the authority and also the credibility to write the book. I think this is quite important. And the next part, I think, will be the institution. The institution also sort of gives us the authority or credibility to write, because we belong, for example, here we belong to UiTM. So in the book, they will mention, oh, Pensyarah UiTM. okay, or lecturer, with UiTM. So the institution also gives us the credibility when we write the book. Okay, so authority is, it's, I think I would, you can rank it in any way that you want, but I think that is one of the things that we look for when we decide why we want to write a book. Okay, because there are a lot of areas that even in the subjects that we are teaching, there are a lot of areas that maybe we are not an expert in. Okay, so you can actually identify what is your strength. Okay, so why, so that strength of course comes with the credibility and the authority. Okay, next, which is very common, why do you want to write a book? Okay, for promotion, for professional development, for those who are young, who are starting, and of course those who are already senior as well, for promotion purposes and so on. Definitely book will help, besides publishing papers in journals and so on. Okay, so professional development, it does help. Thirdly, here, more on networking. So when you start writing a book, you do connect with people who share the same interests or expertise in Malaysia as well as other countries. So when they do contact you and they do write to you and ask you about the book, and I think subsequently in the future, if you want to network with them and write, co-write a book with them, that's also possible. So you have Malaysian writers as well as international writers that you can collaborate with. I think it's quite similar to, to the kind of collaboration that we do when we do research. Okay, it can be local and also international, which is good for the CV as well. Next, of course, the purpose is, you're doing it as something that you're passionate about, empowering others and changing lives. Okay, like you can write self-help books and so on. So this actually empower others. So never underestimate your experience, because everyone comes with a different background. So the passion is very important. If you have something to share, go ahead. That is what I mentioned earlier. Do not hesitate. If you have something in mind, even if it's not, if it's not really related to academic subjects, you can always write about it. Okay. Fiction, yes. Okay, if you want to write a novel, okay, fiction is usually a form of escapism. You want to imagination. Okay, so something, if you're good in if your imaginative skills, the process is, you have something that's very solid, that's very good, then go ahead with fiction. Okay. And one of the important aspect, but for me, I just put it at the end, it's of course when you write, when you publish, and when you sell, then the money does come in, okay, in the form of royalty. Okay, the money does come in. How much of money? I'll be like, I'll have that in the other slides. Okay, so the royalty is there, but I don't think so. Most of us would put this as a main objective when we write a book. Okay, so the money part is nice. I mean, it's good to see some money in your account, okay, especially towards the end of the month. But and you can go for your well-deserved holiday, the long break, that wherever you want to go, you can you can do that. But just remember, just put aside a bit for the income tax. Okay, that royalty you have to declare when you submit your income tax documents. There's a column for royalty as well, right? Okay, next, just okay. And before writing, these are some of the things that I actually do, and I think which would be able, you'll be able to benefit from this as well. So some kind of needs analysis. So usually needs analysis, you do it in an organization, in a company. What are the things that you need before you sort of analyze the needs before you come up with the book that you want to write. So firstly, similar to what we do for research, how does your book add to the existing ones? Because dalam market pasaran banyak buku. So why would people want to buy your book? Okay, this is a bit tricky here. Okay, there's so many books in the market, and these are the books that we don't force people to buy. So why do people have an option? They can make choices. So why do they want to buy the books that we write? Okay. So similar to the research as well. So you can identify knowledge gaps. So what are the areas that have not been covered? That are not yet in print or in the form of ebook. So you can. I think that is quite important. So please identify the knowledge gap first. I think that would be quite helpful, right? Um, Next, you can move on to ideas that needs to be prioritized. For example, like myself and PM Aloya Johari, who has, since retired, we have, our book is basically the subject is reading. But what we have done is we are focused on critical reading. Okay, so critical, you can find a lot of reading books in the market. If you go to the major bookstores or any bookstore, you can find a lot of reading books. Okay? But then the level of the proficiency, the language level use, and the content is actually different. So some you have for beginners, some you have for intermediate learners, some you have for advanced learners, and reading is actually quite wide. Okay, the area covered is quite wide. So what we did was we focused on critical reading, mostly academic reading. Then we can look at the market. All right, you want to publish it for local market, or you want to go international, or both, right? So Malaysians generally, Malaysian students, Malaysian school students, university students, international. Okay, so those are the things you can consider. The next part will be the target readers, the readership. The readership is very important. We don't write in isolation. We write for readers. There should be readership. So where will the books be used? Okay, so in schools, textbooks for schools, or you're going to write for uh, undergraduate students. Missed the word under there. So undergraduate students, are you going to write for postgraduate students? All right. Are you going to write for fellow academics from other universities, other institutions? So the readership is also important. So why? Because the next part is the target group will determine the writing style and the language used. Okay, so if you're going to write for undergraduate students, the writing style, the language used will be different. If you're writing for postgraduate students, it'll be different. If you're writing for academics or very specialized area with a lot of terminology and so on, so it's also going to be different. So anything from simple to complex. So the target, this is also important because definitely the writing style plays an important role in how our books are being accepted by the public or others. Okay. Next, language. Okay, language ni terpulang to the authors or the writers. Malay, English, other languages. It doesn't have to be in English all the time, as we know. So any book, the same kind of book, you can write it in Malay or you can have both. So it depends. Okay. The next point will be, are you going to be the sole author or you want to work with others? So yang ni satu soalan yang penting lah, sebab if you are the sole author, berat, kerja dia berat lah. You have to do everything by yourself. All right. Getting a team is always a good idea. So the next question will be, how many in a team? For me, my personal opinion would be maximum, I think about 4 should be, I think that should be good. 2 to 4 is fine. And find someone that you can, that you can work with, that you can team up with, that you can discuss. Because a lot of time here, we agree to disagree. Okay. Especially when we look at our colleagues, the manuscript, there are a lot of things that we need to discuss, and you have to be very open about it. Okay. It has to be an open discussion. It has to be genuine in that way. You have to be, that kind of acceptance when people make comments, because we are all academics, and sometimes, yeah, I mean, it is it does hurt us, I would say, in some way, sometimes, when comments are being made. I would put hurt in inverted comma. But you have to put aside everything, and then you work together on how to make the book better. So for me, I did not have issues here. With PM Alawiyah, it was, I would say it was a breeze. Because we could, when we correct each other, we make comments and so on. It was all accepted in a very genuine way, I would say. Okay, there were no issues, we never had any problems with that. Okay. So try to form a team, similar to research as well. I would connect this to research every now and then. So try to get a team and someone who you can work with. All right. Being friends, I think I have to be honest here. Being friends with someone does not actually mean you can actually work with them. Friendship on a personal level is different, but a working relationship is different. But if you can have both, a good personal relationship and a good working relationship, you are blessed. You are lucky. You can hang out for coffee, you can discuss. At the same time, when it comes to work, then you're serious about your work. So I think that's also a blessing. Okay. The next part will be the publishing part. Okay. Publisher or self-publish? Okay, I would go to self-publish first. Self-publish, boleh je publish sendiri. Okay, so you can go around, ask, contact publishers if you want to self-publish. Cumanya di sini, for self-publishing, I'm not an expert in self-publishing because I didn't do that. Okay. For self-publishing, there are a lot of things that you have to handle, and there's also a risk there. I mean, like any other things that we do is also, even with the publishers, it could be risky as well. But self-publishing, I think the risk is a bit more. Okay, in terms of distribution, how you want to market the book. These are the things that you have to clarify with the publishers. If you want to do it by yourself. Okay, how do you like to distribute? Because for me personally, we don't have the time to do all this. We have our work besides the lectures that we have. There are other things that we are doing. So if you self-publish, and then you have to find, how you're going to distribute the book, send the books around, and then how you're going to market your book. So this is one thing that for me, it's a bit tedious. It's not impossible. All right. The next would be publisher, of course. So later on my other slides, like I'll be talking about UiTM Press, because I think UiTM Press, they are encouraging lecturers to write and publish through their press. Okay. So you can approach any publishers that you want, but please make sure you do some homework before you publish. And I'll be talking about MAPIM as well in a short while. So publishers, you can approach them and talk to them. Right? So that would actually help. Okay. So now moving on to the challenges. Okay. So I put this. I mean, I thought it was a bit funny in the beginning, but then I thought it's something that I should put. Invest in a good chair. Okay, if you have a good chair, it's fine. I'm not sure about the others, but at my age, I think the pain doesn't come in isolation. The pain comes as a package. I mean, it's quite funny that way. You don't get pain here and there. Everything happens at the same time. You have the neck pain, you have the back pain, you have issues with the arms, you have issues with the legs sitting for too long. I think I'm not generalizing, but to a certain extent, it does come with age. So get a good chair to sit, and I think this would pretty much help you, because they'll be spending long hours writing as well. Okay. Working space. Okay, working space. You need a good working space. At home, yes, but you can, if you don't have much distraction, or the time that you set to work at home, that's okay. If you want to go to any cafe and you have your favorite cafe, you want to sit down, you bring your laptop. There's nothing much for you to bring, just except your laptop, the battery charger and so on, or anywhere else that you feel comfortable, right? Or you can take a few days off, go somewhere, and you can focus. So the working space is actually quite important. The next one, I think this is very crucial. before we write, we need to read. Because you are writing, you need content. If you don't read and if you don't have the content, how are we going to write? Okay, so reading is very important. I think similar to how we do the thesis, for masters or PhD. So the reading part is very important because then you have an idea. You can't read one book. Let's say you want to write on like taxation, for example. You don't read one book, you read a few books, and then from there you have an idea of what you want to write. And from there you also get the knowledge gap. So reading is actually quite important, and it does take a lot of time. I wouldn't say too long, but it does take time. So preparation for reading, you have to allocate the time. Okay, try to familiarize yourself with the genre of your chosen discipline. Okay, this word genre, right? This word genre gives me the pronunciation, especially. I think this is one word, right, that always gives me this panic and anxiety attack. Genre. Actually, genre is American pronunciation. The British is very different. It's so silent that I'm a bit confused. Okay, so I would rather go for the American one and use genre. So try to familiarize yourself with the chosen discipline. So for us in education, for example, for those who are let's say from the Faculty of Education, how you write is a bit different from those who write for those from English, those who belong to the English literature. Okay, so the writing style is definitely different. So that is why you need to familiarize yourself with all this. Okay, some just definition of a genre, okay? Or it's a style, especially in arts, that involves a particular set of characteristics, okay? And it's also important because it is important to know what information your audience wants and needs in order to establish what genre you will use, okay? So sometimes it's set for you, okay? The publishers will tell you, these are the things that we need from you, okay? Can you write this, They give you what they require or what they want, instead of you giving your own suggestions to them. They have their own, the kind of books that the topics or the titles, usually they call it titles, the titles that they have in store, right? So they say, okay, we have these titles. Can you write for us? So you can decide at the time. Maybe you have something in mind, but they say, okay, this is fine, but we need these titles. These titles are those that people demand or readers demand. And then you can also have a look at that. And having your own ideas is also fine. You can also discuss with them, and at the same time, maybe you can come to a meeting point halfway. All right. So that is also quite useful. So always talk to the publisher and also discuss with them. All right. So moving on, be clear about the style that is required. So you discuss with the publishers the kind of writing style, and especially because it's related to the readership. Okay. I think the next point is also quite crucial. Try to look at examples and models of good academic writing in your discipline. So before we came up with the book, there were other writers who wrote something similar. So we had a look at that, go through their books, read and see how they have presented their ideas. Okay, that's very important. Otherwise, you will be, working in a vacuum. So you need to look at the examples, models of good academic writing. So those who are experts in the area that you are teaching, that you can have a look at those books and, get an idea of how to write. We don't have to, we don't have to necessarily follow everything, exactly the style or the way they write, because writing styles will definitely be different. You can always improvise and do things on your own. But to give you an idea, I think this is really good. We have to do that. Okay. The next thing is how your book is different from others in the market. Okay. Like you have a variety, a wide range of books being sold, and now with ebooks and so many books in the market. So how is it different? So just earlier on, the knowledge gap will help you. Okay, we don't have to come up with something new all the time. Sometimes, like the things that we're going to present, they're time-tested ideas. I mean, they've already been there, you know, it's already in existence. But how are you going to present them in a novel manner? How are you going to approach your readership, you know, with this? It's an old idea, time-tested ideas. Like, how are you going to go about um, bringing this, the concepts, the theories, you know, in a different way, in a different manner? So that's also fine. It's not like, you know, you have to do something, we have to do something all new all the time, or write something new that's not there. No, because these theories and so on, you know, it's already there. We cannot change them. So your presentation, uh, easy to understand, you know, so people look for that most of the time. Something that's not difficult, something that's not too heavy. It can be a difficult subject. The content is tough. Okay, I don't deny that. You know, it can be, not everything is easy. Serious subject matters, difficult ones. But how are we presenting them to the readers? Okay, so you could have your own way. Like we have been, for those who have been teaching for many years, you know, you have your own method. Okay, you find that for this subject, if you do this, if you teach in this particular way, the students are able to understand better. You know, so then you use that. You know, that is your strength. So you use that and you write a book. Okay, so you don't have to feel, you know, we usually feel, oh, is it, you know, this, is this doable? You know, going to, what will people think about me? You know, like, uh, is it going to work? So don't, like I said earlier, do not have doubts, just proceed, just go ahead. I think what I personally would say again and again is, we encourage others. It's not easy, but we encourage others. It's never impossible to do, right? So presentation, because you see our context is different. We, most of the books that we have, especially in academia, they come from other countries, Western, you know, from Western countries, written by native speakers, and those things can be quite heavy for our Malaysian local students. So the same idea, the same concept, you can always present it in a different way. After teaching, you find, oh, this way really works. So you put it, you know, you write it, and you know, you come up with a book. Okay, so the next one would be finding time. Okay, time is of course of the essence here. For someone who's also, you know, who procrastinates from time to time, you know, I have to tell you that time is important. I'm not going to paint a very beautiful or beautiful picture, or I'm not going to paint a very bleak picture. It's neither. All right, it's just reality of writing a book. There are good times, there are bad times, as as how life is. You know, it's not all good all the time, it's not all bad, it's a combination of both. So finding time, you have to be persistent and consistent, because you're working within a time frame, right? So you need to find the time. And most of us have other commitments as well besides the job that we do. All right, there are other things. We have you know, we have families, we have relatives, you know, we have things to do, shopping to be done, groceries, buying groceries and stuff. So it does take up, even like these are the things that we put that we schedule for the weekend: buying groceries, taking the children out, you know. But I would also like to sort of tell you here, or share with you, not to tell, I think that's not the right word, to share with you that do not do things also write books at the expense of the family. Okay? Because then I think we are not managing the time well in that case. When we have to, especially weekends, I'm not talking about weekdays where you're at work, weekends, when you have promised them, you know, to take them somewhere, I think we should. Oh, you can't say, I need to write a book, so we are not going out for, you know, we are not going out this week. I think that's, we are being very unfair to the children and also other members in the family. Unless it's something that is urgent, you know, beyond our control, then it's fine. So here, finding time. These are the reality of writing a book. So you have to find time. But we cannot make other people victims because just because we want to write something. Okay, the usually 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, oh sorry, 8 to 6, you know, during the weekdays we are here in the office, we have lectures and so on. That is you know, that is the main thing, that's the kerja hakiki that we are supposed to do. So these are the you know, besides that, so you need to find time. Okay, so you have to be persistent, you have to be consistent, but not at the expense of others. That is what I personally believe. right? Minimize distractions. So distractions can come in so many ways, all right? The existing work that we have, with the children at home, with the household chores, there are a lot of things, okay? So try going out. You can just minimize it, just minimize the distractions and find the right time for you to, I wouldn't say there's anything called right time, just find time and make use of the time that you have. In between of doing something, you can slot in. If you can write a few sentences, that's fine. So maybe you carry, your tablet or even with the phone, the notes. Something comes to your mind, just jot them down immediately. Like don't think about them because an hour later we'll forget. Also, as I was talking about the pain just now, also the memory, hardly nowadays you, like even for me, sometimes you can't remember where I even put the key. So whenever you have ideas, just put it down on the paper, just or key it in somewhere, right? And you then compile and have a look at them because we tend to forget. This, the last point here in this slide, feeling that we are not an expert. All right, because for me, I did feel this, because who are you to write the book? Are you an expert? We tend to question ourselves more often than not. Are we an expert in this field? But you wouldn't know until you try. We are not claiming to be experts, but we write, to the extent that we know and what we have read, we do our best. Okay, there's so many experts around. Like we can't claim to be, oh, we are the expert in this area just because we write a particular book. No, not really. Okay, but then don't worry so much about it, because expertise, it comes with experience. It comes with, when you write a first book, second book, then you will build it up slowly. Okay, just like when we teach, when you started, I'm sure most of you remember the doctors here and so on. So if when we first start our teaching job first year as a novice, then we are a bit, um, what do you call, a bit apprehensive, a bit reluctant, a bit that kind of worry that we have. Over the years, once you teach like for about 20 years, 15 years, then you become a bit more comfortable, a bit more confident, right? So this will actually help you. And there's no such thing as perfection. Even this morning, until the very end, just now I just missed the word under, for undergraduates. So I missed the word under. So there's no such thing as perfection, but we try our best. Looking at the same thing over and over again, we do miss things. So you can't, there's no sense of, I wouldn't say there's perfection when you write, but I would say near perfection. We can achieve that. Because at the end of the day, when you look at the book, you will still find, similar to writing a thesis and so on, you'll find something missing, a word that's not there, or something that's wrongly constructed. So it's always there. But near perfection, I think that should be fine. Okay? So if you have this, I think it will help you to write better. Okay, I put this in red because this is something that sort of affected me. Okay, writing is work in progress. So I would, based on my personal experience, try not to edit while you are writing. Okay, keep it for later. If you are having a few chapters in a book, so you can, after like chapter 1, and then you can go for the, you can edit your work. Then you move on to chapter 2, for example, then you edit. Okay. So what happens, like even for me, when you write something, okay, you write a paragraph or you write 2 pages of something, you're supposed to write 10. Okay. You're supposed to come up with 10 pages, but what you do is you do 2 first. And then, okay, you think you have done some substantial work. All right. Then you start to edit. Okay, let me edit these 2 pages. And that is the biggest mistake for me that I think I have made in the beginning. Because when you start editing while you are writing, it sort of disturbs the whole process for me personally. Because editing is a different thing, you focus, you look at the sentence structure, you look at the vocabulary, and then for me, I would, because related to the English language, so I would look for synonyms, you go online and then you look at the thesaurus, you go to the dictionary. There's so many other things when you are editing. Okay, why, for example, if I use this word, why can't I use another word? Why can I want to try to write something else? okay, using different vocabulary. And that actually takes up a lot of time. So at the end, you're stuck with that 2 pages when you're supposed to do 10. Okay, so editing, I think, keep it for later. So once you just have a target, okay, after chapter 1, then I'm going to go all out for the editing. Just write first. Whatever you have, the content, just go for the content first. Then the editing will come. Of course, the editing is important. But if you know, write, edit, then it's going to take up a lot of time. Okay, because when we do editing, we focus on other things as well, and then the writing sort of lags, you know. So editing is a bit for later. Okay, and most of us would go for publishers. Publishers will have editors. Okay, a right editor is crucial for a good book. So you can check with your publishers who are the recommended editors. Boleh check dengan penerbit lah for editor. Okay, editor buku, you can ask them. So if they have, usually they'll have editorial board, okay, in-house editorial board, and you can check with them. So possibility is to the best way is to get someone who knows what you are doing, okay, the content and what you're going to write. So someone who is similar. So for us, for the first book, I think we got 2 lecturers from UKM and also UTM. So it was given by the publisher. The publisher appointed 2 editors, the editorial board. So we do not correspond with them. We only knew at the end that they were the editors because it was published in the book. Their names were mentioned in the book. So then we knew, oh, they are the editors, because we were not actually informed, or we were not, you know, we did not suggest, but you could actually suggest. If you have anyone in mind who you think in Malaysia or abroad, if you think that they would be able to help you, I think it's good to talk to the publisher as well and see how that works for you. Okay, the right editor is important. So someone who understands what you're doing. If you get an editor who doesn't do what you are doing and who doesn't understand, then it's going to be another issue. Either they do not know what is there in the book, or they just, you know, everything is okay. So either way, it's going to be a problem, right? Timeline, on average, minimum 1 year. Okay, usually the fastest will be about a year for you to write the book. Then of course you have the deadline, submission. There are also other things. Okay. This is the other part. So the editorial board, those the editors and also the language editors. So once you submit your manuscript, they will, you know, they'll come up with comments. They'll give you comments, and then you have to go through them and see whether what are they saying and whether it's okay for you. So here, what I would like to say is accept criticism, and, you know, try not to be too resistant to change, because they also have some kind of idea to help you to improvise. So that is also quite useful. Okay. So this early criticism of your writing by peers and other readers with more experience will often help you to become a better writer in the long run. Okay, so the in-house editorial board, the language editors. So before you write, when you approach the publisher, so make sure the editorial board, you know, they have an editorial board, they have language editors. Okay. Wawa, are there any questions or so far?
So far, no.
Oh, no, okay. I hope I haven't confused.
No, it's okay. I think so far so
Okay.
good.
Okay, all right, thank you. So if you have any questions, please stop, and, you know, if there's anything you need me to clarify, please go ahead.
Yes.
That's fine. Okay. Writer's block. Okay, it's quite common among writers. So summarized by this, you know. So the person says your place looks great, and then the lady replies that you have to, you know, she made the biscuit and also the curtains, you know, and she made them yesterday. So definitely writer's block. So when you have writer's block, you try to do other things, focus on other things. Writer's block, it comes every now and then, but I think with you know, you just keep on going. Don't stop. Just be persistent. You should be fine, right? So writer's block, it happens even when we do our research or when we write papers. It does happen every now and then. So writer's block is something unavoidable, but manageable. Okay, writing style. Yeah, how do you write, or how do I write? I think that would pretty much summarize. There are days where you think carefully about what you want to write, word by word. There's a lot of thought going into it, and there are days, you just like you come to a dead end, or some kind of a crossroad. You keep pressing the button, and you just hope, keep on typing and typing and typing, and hope something coherent comes out of it. Okay, so I think most of us go forth between the first picture and the second picture, and then after a while you sort of you become, you stabilize and you put yourself in the middle. Okay, so these are quite common things when we write. Okay, ethics in writing. So I'll move to this part. So when we write, just like other things that we do, so there are ethics when we write. Okay. So practicing ethical writing means developing and sustaining trust between you and the readers. You may not know who your readers are yet at the moment, but then you have to practice definitely, because there should be some kind of trust between you and the reader. We always, at the end of the day, we do keep the read. It's very important. We have to keep the readers in mind. Okay. The next one here is the institutions that we write for. Okay, those are also, part of the ethics. Like, for example, we belong to UiTM. So, ethics are also involved here, because we carry the name of the institution with us. And I think that gives us a lot of sort of weightage. When you write a book, the publisher will of course know that you belong to this institution. So the institution pushes you up, it brings you up. So we have to also be ethical in that way, right? The next, now, writing non-biased arguments based on credible sources and showing respect for diversity. Okay. So arguments are usually non-biased, also taken from credible sources, and you have to, nowadays it's all about diversity. So we also have to show respect for diversity, because you have different ethnic groups, different races, so I think different religion. So these are all important when we write a book. So we should not overlook this aspect as well. So we don't usually go or write about sensitive issues. Sensitive is very subjective, but whatever area that you're writing for, you decide accordingly. Okay. So we have to, when you use examples or the passages that we use, that is very important to show respect for everybody. Okay. The next one, use of materials. Okay. For me, this is one of the difficult part, because we were writing, it was a reading book, which I'll be showing you later. So we were writing a reading book, and or we wrote a reading book, and for those reading, for that particular book, you need to have a lot of short paragraphs, reading passages. Okay, so it was really, for me, it was really tough. For at one point, for the second book, for a short paragraph, I actually used 3 or 4 different links and references to get ideas, and then you cannot sort of copy paste, you have to adapt them. So this takes a lot of time. Okay. It depends on the nature, the type of books or book that you write. So for me, for the reading text, it's time consuming, because you cannot take, okay, I'm going to take from this text or this newspaper link, and then I'm going to copy and put it there. It doesn't work that way. Okay. So adapting text, if you're using numbers also, I think it'd be the same. You have to adapt them. So this adapting part is also quite crucial. Okay, citation. Citation, you have to cite. Similar to writing articles, you know, research and so on, you have to cite. Okay, if you have taken, let's say this is from a book, and then, or you take it from online, you know, now there's a lot of links, so you have to cite them. Okay. And one important thing to keep in mind is always keep your sources organized and cite accordingly. So do not compile everything all the time. Like once you have done something, you have taken from this particular link, the web page, you have to cite it in, you know, just write it down, or you can use some kind of software just to gather all the information of the citation, or the books or whatever materials that you have cited. So do that, because once the book is ready, or you're almost done, it's like 100 page, 120 minimum, it's about 100, you know, it's a 100 page book, 100 pages. So you can't be, you know, thinking about what you did in page 1, page 2, where did I get this from? Then it will delay your work even further. You know, it will be, you know, it's a headache as well, and time consuming. So every time you have you are going to quote from somewhere, you have adapted from some web page, please write it down immediately, copy the link and keep it, and just file it. Okay, or put in the folder. Just put it in the folder. So everything, okay, chapter 1, then you have, okay, for chapter 1, for this, I have all the links already. So towards the end, it makes your work very much easier, similar to how you write research papers and so on. Okay, so this is I highlighted them in red because these are the things that I personally find, you know, was quite challenging in that way. And of course, the next part is, of course, the ethics. You have to cite, because you cannot just copy paste, you know, the materials or information. So citation is very important, even for books. Okay, next, plagiarism, some considerations. Okay, so set realistic goals. Like earlier on, I did mention about the timeline. So you're given the time frame for you to finish the book. A year and a half, you know, it depends. 2 years, okay? So you just have to set some realistic goals. Like you can't do, I'm not so sure, but for me personally, I can't write a book in 2-3 months. It's impossible task. Okay, something that's impossible for me to do. So set realistic goals, especially when you have a team of writers, then you will have to divide the task and then make sure everything is in order, and don't rush so much, because sometimes, you know, we don't have the time, so we try to take, you know, plagiarize from here and there. So the goals have to be realistic. The next point is manage your time wisely. This will help you avoid plagiarism. Okay, so plan well, and then, you know, do not delay. You have, you know, just follow the schedule. I mean, if you're late by a day or so, I mean, it's okay, but then not too long. Like for us, the first book that we published with Oxford, they're very, very persistent as well. Okay, so they give you 1 month. Like for us, they gave us 1 month for one chapter. If you forget, they remind you. So which we didn't do, but then that's how they do. They will, even in the let's say there was, I think one time, it was quite a bit that we had to do. So we submitted before end of the month, but it was already towards the end of the month. Even before the towards that I was saying end of the month, they already send you a reminder. Because usually we usually will send it earlier, but there was one time we were a bit caught up, so it was a bit, we were not late, but you know, so they do take note of all this. As far as Oxford was concerned at that time, they try to you know, they will remind you. So a month, and you will be on your toes as well. Okay, so it depends on the publishing house, and also, you know, the staff that they have, because they also employ, you know, they have their editors and so on. So it is a process actually. Okay, so the next one here is copyright laws. Okay, So when you plagiarize, it's not only an ethical issue, but a legal one. So this is another thing that I'm sort of worried, you know, in a consistent way at that time as well. Like, can people sue you? Because you do adapt, you know, you do, we do all those things, but, you know, there are times maybe that we overlook. So we don't want to end up with all these, you know, legal issues and so on, pertaining to copyright laws. So for we have to be careful. That's all. Okay. So we try our best, and on the next slide, I think I'll be, you know, looking at some of the softwares or the apps that we can use nowadays, you know, for plagiarism. I think it's not a big issue, but it's easier said than done, because when we speak, you know, when I explain or when we do, it doesn't sound that difficult. But actually, when we are writing, we know when we rush, you know, the moment of this, the rush, and also some kind of, you know, panic sets in sometimes. So we do not know. We might plagiarize in one way or another. Okay. The next one that I highlighted in red is the photos or the graphics. Okay. This is something that people sort of, you know, sort of been downplayed, I guess. Okay. Oh, we don't. So what we think is, oh, we write the content. Okay, we make sure the content is not plagiarized, that, you know, everything is adapted, citations provided, fine. So we are okay. And then we take photos and graphics online because they are available to public. Okay. So public domain, please speak with your publishers. Public domain, I'm not so sure how it works. Like for us, we didn't have this issue because with Oxford especially, they bought all the photos or the graphics. Okay, like Shutterstock, if I remember correctly, Shutterstock is one of them. So they have paid for the photos. So they have copyright over the photos or the graphics that they use. So with Oxford, these are the things that made it worry-free for us. You don't have to worry, they will organize everything. So okay, I write everything, you know, everything is in order. And then photos, I will just take some random photos. No, from, you know, somewhere, and then I'll just put it in the book and using it for my book. That is also some kind of plagiarism already, or in terms of copyright. So the person's photo that you use, that person also can sue us, okay, for using that particular picture or photo. Even photos of nature and so on. So for us, we were quite lucky because both publishers, they bought the photos and they sorted out this issue for us. We didn't have to worry so much about this. Whatever graphics and so on, we focus mainly on the content. Okay, whatever the layout and everything, it was all the pictures, it was all handed. They handle everything. Okay, so we gave it to them and they decided. But you can always, let's say they choose some pictures for you that you're not happy with, or there's some things that you want to change, you can always tell them and they would do it for you. So I think that's not an issue.
Okay,
Okay.
Bawani, sorry,
Yes,
before we
yes.
proceed to the next slide, we have one question from YouTube here
Uh-huh.
from Mr. Zainal Kifli.
Uh-huh.
Which one would you recommend, writing a physical book or ebook?
Oh, okay. Um, let me go back to writing a physical book or writing an
Ebook,
ebook.
yeah.
It's just I haven't, okay, to be honest, we have not attempted ebooks yet. So both are actually physical books. Okay. Oh, now since I'm back on the screen, I can see some friends. We have just a minute, Dr. Wawa. We have Puan Hasriati, our famous novelist from UiTM Kedah. Puan Hasriati. I thought I saw her name. Okay.
Yeah, she's here.
She's here. Okay. So we have, she's so talking about non-fiction earlier, right? So we have
Yeah.
Puan Hasriati as well. So ebooks, no, we haven't attempted ebooks. Okay. So so far, the we have only produced 2 physical books. That question was from where? Cik Zul, eh? It was from
Encik Zainal
Cik Zana.
Kifli Abdul Razak.
Cik Zana. So I'm quite sorry, Cik Zana, but now most of the books are, you can do both, physical as well, because the content will be the same. Cumanya dia punya layout dan sebagainya, satu ialah online e-book dan satu ialah printed one. Yang tu for me perbezaan yang ketara lah. Selain pada tu rasanya boleh bincang dengan publisher. Ibu buat masa ni tak pernah tak buat lagi. Okay, so mungkin di masa depan should be able to try. So I continue.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. These are some of the apps that you can use in terms of plagiarism. Let me go back to. Oops. Sorry. Okay, talking about plagiarism and some considerations. Okay, I did go into this because for us it was also the publisher will also do this check whether it's plagiarized, or you can also do it by yourself. So Grammarly is quite a common app used or software, mostly for checking language and so on. But now from what I understand, it also has a function where you can check for plagiarism. Tapi masalahnya kena bayar. I think it has to be paid. I don't think so. I haven't tried, but from my research, it has it's a paid. It's like a premium version. Okay, so if anyone has used this to detect plagiarism, you can please let me know. So I've gone into this PlagScan. Okay, it looks okay, kind of user friendly. It can provide results on any plagiarism. It's a plagiarism check, and it also reports where exactly the content was plagiarized. So these are actually valid apps. I've gone into them, but I have not used them. Okay, PlagScan, I've not used PlagScan. But for the others who would like to try, please go ahead and try. Okay. It is there. It's legit. It's legit. The websites are there. Okay. The other one is White Smoke. White Smoke. It also comes in with with built-in plagiarism checking. Okay. It can detect all this. I've taken this from the Guide to Understanding and Avoiding Plagiarism. So there's another app that's called Article Checker. So according to the writer, this is one of the favorite plagiarism detection tool. Okay, so you don't have to sign up or subscribe for anything. You don't even have to upload them in your file. You can copy paste the content, and then you can check for plagiarism within seconds. I think these are things that we can look into. I'm not an expert in plagiarism, and basic things, yes, but not with the apps. But when I was doing preparing, so these are the things that I have learned. Okay, so you have the dupli checker. It's also similar to the article checker, and the last one will be plagiarism check. Okay, I think the one that's also popular is Copyscape. So all these apps can be used, or softwares can be used to detect plagiarism before we submit, the manuscript. Okay.
Bawani, we have another question from YouTube.
Yes.
From Mr. Syazwanie.
Uh-huh.
He asked if we wanted to include our past experience or be collected from various materials as storytelling material to make better explanations related to the field or subject, would that be problematic?
Sorry, Wawa, can you let me stop sharing?
Can
you repeat the question?
I think he want to include his past experience
Uh-huh.
or collection from various materials as a storytelling material, to make the explanations in the book better. Is it a problem?
I don't think so. It's a problem as long as you know it's not plagiarized or it's not taken from somewhere. I mean, of course, you can take with citation. It's not an issue. It's never wrong that way. So you can always cite. But if you have your own experience, but that's the thing. You see, the one I mentioned earlier, the genre that we are writing, academic writing. For academic writing, if it's something that's personal, uh, we should look into that, because if you're writing fiction writing, writing novels, and all that, yes, I think personal experiences, personal testimonies, that's fine. But when you do academic writing, I don't think so. It's it's that relevant. But no matter what, please contact the publisher, because I'm also not an expert in this as well, to say whether that material is relevant or not. Please contact the publisher and ask them, okay, I'm going to write this. If it's academic writing, can I include some, aspects like this? Is it okay? Is it not okay? But as far as from what I know or from what I understand, for academic writing, it has to be most of the time factual.
Factual, okay.
Factual. Okay, or you can take excerpts from books and so on. Okay, but it must come from somewhere. Usually we don't write our own stories.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think it depends on the genre itself, like you said, right? If let's say
yes.
you're talking about the travelling just now, I think no problem lah kan kalau kita nak share gambar-gambar travel kita tu.
Betul, kalau kita nak buat contohnya, okay lah, kita suka jalan. So we do a book on traveling, backpacking. By all means, boleh guna semua gambar sebab gambar tu gambar kita. And then whatever we have taken, semua tu kita boleh masuk. Gambar ni kan, that's another thing. Banyak orang tak concern about the gambar. Gambar pun orang boleh saman kita.
Yeah, true.
Sebab kita duk fikir most of the time, kalau kita copy paste, we plagiarize, yang tu yang bahaya. Sebenarnya gambar pun bahaya sebab bila kita masuk gambar orang tu, and then gambar dia nampak gambar dia kat buku, siaplah juga kita. Macam itulah lebih kurang. Sebab copyright tak boleh. So minta permission. For me, kalau boleh, we don't get into all this. Suruh publisher, kita minta publisher, okay, gambar yang, because they will choose relevant pictures with the text. So mereka akan pilih lah gambar-gambar. I baru perasan I cakap mereka. Sorry, we all orang Kedah. So we just, nak kata kami tu taklah saya kot mereka. So they will choose the right pictures for you, and then you have a look at the pictures, because it's, you can always change them if you don't like. Because from my understanding, Oxford mereka beli gambar tu. Sebab I tengok Shutterstock and all that, they bought the picture. So kami tak maulah benda-benda ni macam orang kata renyah tau kita nak buat. Nanti masalah lain pula. Dah lah penulisan pun dah pening. Menambahkan pening kepala dengan gambar, dengan grafik-grafik, I think that's not somewhere, kita tak maulah masuk teritori tu. We leave it to the publishers. Okay. Okay. So I sambung.
Alright. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for those who ask the questions. Okay, writing the process itself, and now publishing a book. Okay. I think I did highlight this before, publisher or self-publish, right? You can publish in Malaysia or, even other countries you can. Tapi adalah dia punya syarat-syarat tu. Tapi kalau kita kat sini pun gagah juga. Tapi so better we start di sini dululah. Okay. And then later, as I was telling you, if you have networking with other experts from other countries, and then you can discuss with them and see how you want to go about doing it. Okay. So go to the publisher's website and gather information. After this, I spoke to Dr. Aziz the other day from UiTM Kedah. So I'm going to use some of the information UiTM Press. Sebab sepatutnya kita kepentingan tu untuk UiTM Press. Okay. So my books the earlier ones were not from UiTM Press. Tapi moving forward, is better that we use our own UiTM Press to publish the books, because I think that is better in other ways as well, right? And the next thing is email, call, arrange for a meeting. As I mentioned much earlier, I think when we started the webinar kan, the sharing session ni, one of the things that I wanted to write, it was something non-academic. So I called the publisher. Memang dia orang baik sungguh. You know, they said, okay, when actually I texted them and someone replied and they said, okay, my boss, you know, he wants to talk to you. So set appointment. Sampai macam tu, they are so, you know, they will go out of their way to meet you, to discuss. And then we had there was a phone, you know, he made a phone call and we spoke about it. Okay, because these are non-academic stuff. You know, sometimes you with your age, it comes, you know, it comes with experience and so on. So there are other things that you want to write as well. So they're very welcoming in that way. So jangan don't worry so much, you know, just email, call, and then if possible arrange, you know, now kan lah sejak pandemic ni boleh Google Meet, you know, Zoom ke apa-apa, just you know, have this kind of brief meetings and get an idea. Tak bermaksud kita ni, oh kita call, kita kena buat juga. It's not that. Just get information, you know, do some you know, homework, just get some maklumat dia nak macam mana, okay, what do they expect. Nanti baru kita tahu, duk baca, sometimes kita duk baca lah the websites, right, they have the requirements and all. Baca, lepas tu pening. And then kita pun tak faham what do they actually want. So I think sometimes you call them and you arrange for a meeting, memang bagus. Because you will meet very nice people yang akan cuba untuk bantu. Okay, nak tulis macam ni boleh. Because what I was asking was something that was non-academic. Kita ni sebagai academic, kita rasa, oh, macam mana nak tulis if it's non-academic, you know, buku tu. Tapi, and then, but they say you can. Why you want to worry? Ada readership tak? The other question is readership. Because the book, you know, they must sell the book. Sebab we have to understand, publisher tu, dia cari makan menjual buku. Kita bukan cari makan jual buku. We are lecturers, or, you know, academic staff, non-academic staff. This is not our main source of income. Okay, so we have to understand, publisher ni dia lain. Dia punya income comes from the sale of books and other things that they do. So dia pun nak buat duit juga. If they don't make money, kesian lah. Then, you know, if you want to write something yang tak boleh jual pun susah juga. Then mereka tak boleh buat duit. Academic publishers different because target market dia school students, university students, they do have market. So general public ni, it's always good. Please call, arrange for a meeting, talk with them. They are actually very helpful. Tapi mungkin mungkin nasib saya baiklah sebab yang saya call tu okay, you know, very enthusiastic, memang nak tolong and all that. Kalau yang tak jawab email and all that, I'm not so sure. Okay, so then you can look. If you go to if you Google, there are a lot of Malaysian local Malaysian publishers, Malaysian publishers ramai. So you can see, and mereka pun ada tulis what kind of books that they are publishing and so on besides academic book. Untuk yang berminat buat non-academic, boleh je contact. Ada ramai dalam tu. Yang tadi one of the question, e-book tu, even Kindle, you know, Barnes and Noble semua, they also have, besides Malaysian publishers, dia pun ada buat e-book. Amazon, so semua dah ada e-book sekarang. Okay, so bergantung lah. Tapi trend sekarang banyak kepada e-book. Tapi when we talk about trend, but we also have to see people's what do you call what they like, you know. Bukan semua, walaupun we talk about technology this and that, not everyone prefers e-book too. You know, orang nak physical, ada setengah ni nak physical book juga. They want to hold the book, they want to read. E-book ni okay, of course there are pros and cons, both pun, you know, adalah benda yang okay, yang tak okay, sama. Content tu sama. Tapi cara, the mode is, you know, the method is a bit different. So, ikutlah terpulang. We cannot assume, oh, younger generation tak mau baca buku, dah e-book. We cannot also make assumption. So, young people also want, you know, some of them, they would like to have physical books. So, bergantung kepada apa kita punya publisher lah. So content tu sama, dia akan transfer rasanya lah into from physical book to e-book. Tapi masa pandemic ni, I think e-book was, you know, doing quite well because post tak ada, and then, you know, a lot of movements have been restricted. So senang lah kalau e-book, you know, That's the thing. But it's not, to be realistic, it's not good for our eyes, you know. Physically, it's not so good lah. Sebab kita duduk lama, a lot of screen time involved, you know. We have no choice. Because a lot of things we are already, you know, it's already online. And then now additional buku lagi. So those are the things. So we have to see the pros and cons. Okay, so arrange for meeting, paper book or paperback or ebook lah. All right. So before you publish, okay, contact the publisher apa semua dah boleh you have an idea, prepare the TOC, table of content. Kita kena come up, like us, we came up with the table of content. Okay, what are the things that you want to write in your book? Kata contohnya ada 8 chapter. Okay, 8 chapter, chapter 1 to chapter 8, and then each chapter you will have topics, the topics, the subtopics, okay? And then you will have the in that particular chapter you will have the explanation, examples, exercises, semua lah, semua kena letak. Okay, chapter 1, after the, let's say, topic 1, okay, topic 1, subtopic 1.1, subtopic 1.2, subtopic 1.3, contoh. And then after that, you nak buat latihan, kena tulis. Exercise 1, exercise, semua kena, we have to list. Kena tulis semua bagi lengkap. That is table of content. Tak boleh, you know, oh, I want to write 5 chapters. Okay, bagi chapter 1, chapter 1, this is the topic. Chapter 1, skimming. Chapter 2, contohnya scanning. Chapter 3, main idea, for example. Chapter 4, let's say implied main idea. So you just give the chapters. You can't. For us, that's what they requested, the publishers. You have to do the breakdown, the detailed breakdown. What do you want to do? But there are no hard and fast rules. Bukannya kita buat tu benda tu kita tak boleh ubah. You can change. You know, you can make changes as you go along. You nak letak, because sometimes, you know, you do that as an outline, and then sometimes you want to pindah. Okay, yang ni we want to put it here, or this one nak ubah tempat lain, or nak ganti. That is fine, but make sure it's minimal. Jangan, you know, table of content, complete change. After you have agreed, okay, I'm going to do this, that 2 months down the road, tukar semua, table of content completely different. I mean, rasa tak seronok lah kalau buat macam tu. So table of content should be consistent, but not fixed. Okay, so I think that would be a better way of looking at it. Not consistent but not fixed. Adalah perubahan kecil, definitely. Okay, sebab once the book is done pun mesti ada perubahan here and there. I mean, it's not a crime, so to speak. Cumanya janganlah buat major changes, you know, this and that. Nanti pening lah. Sebab together with the book, it comes, you know, the photo comes with it. And then we also have to understand that the publishers, they also have their staff. They have the editors, the proofreaders, the copy editors. Nanti benda yang completely different menambah dia kerja also at the same time. So tak boleh ikut suka. We cannot say, oh, we are the writers, we do whatever we want. I mean, I think to a certain extent is not fair. When you have agreed on something, so we just follow something similar with minor changes, I think that's not a problem. Okay, then once table of contents semua dah okay, then you just start the writing process. Okay, some issues to consider. This I have mentioned earlier, editorial board. So tanyalah kita punya publisher tu the editorial board. Okay, so editorial board tu penting because those who know what we are writing about. Okay, language editors. Kalau diorang provide, baguslah, dah bersyukur dapat language editor, saves time. But on our end, also kena usaha juga, kena, you know, tak bolehlah submit a manuscript yang cacar merba, yang semua, you know, with the spelling errors, this and that. Okay, we do our best, edit, you know, if English is not your area, like us, walaupun benda tu bidang kita, tapi tak nampak. Honestly, this is one of the things that I would, you know, share with you. Duk banyak kali benda tu juga tak nampak depan mata. You know, all the time, right? Duk berapa kali duk ulang tayang, baca, and then at the end, somebody else will spot the mistake, you know. You don't do it intentionally, but it happens. Like most of the time when we do research, when we write theses and so on. Okay, so try to get someone. It doesn't mean, okay, I'm teaching English, I'm good. Yes, I mean, we are to a certain extent content, but errors, sometimes we don't spot them. So we can ask somebody to help, language editors, proofreaders. Okay? Even though in-house tu bergantung, they might have, they might not have. So the onus is on the writer to come up with error-free text or error-free book lah, so to speak. Okay, we try our best. That's why I told you earlier. It's we don't nak kata aim for perfection tu. Yes, it's well and good. Tapi near perfection lah. Nak kata tak ada salah langsung. Sometimes lepas sprint all that after 2 months macam nak tergelak sendiri jugalah sebab tak benda tu macam why did I include this? You tend to laugh at yourself as well because you didn't see that in the beginning. So these are the common occurrences when you write a book. Okay, layout of the book, make sure it's reader friendly. Like for us, it was all done by the publisher. We didn't interfere also with this aspect, just like the photos. So they have their own template. Okay, so what they gave us was, they gave us the empty template. Kita masuk je content, whatever you want to write, just put in. Okay, and then the layout they will do. Some others like us with Oxford, we had the macam side notes. They had that. Like some publishers, they don't. So they have their own template, and the layout, they will do the layout, and of course they will always give you a copy for you to see, for you to approve. If you are not so keen, then you let them know, okay, I want this to be changed, I want the picture to be here, I don't want this, then then they will accommodate your request. Okay, so it should be reader friendly sebab yang nak baca tu the readership, kalau if they are let's say diploma students, undergraduates, postgraduate students, academics, so the layout, you must make sure they are comfortable. When the readers read, they're comfortable with the book. Okay, so I would suggest do not spend so much of time mulling on this and the book cover. The other thing is the book cover. Duk pecah kepala nak buat gambar apa, this one don't. The publishers they are very kind and helpful. They will help you. Oxford in the beginning gave us a few colors, same design, a few colors, like four colors or so. Then you choose what do you want. Then they will, if you don't like, okay, if you, let's say there's green, like blue, red, white, apa-apa, kita pilih lah yang kita suka. And if you do not like the design or something, you inform, they will change because daripada dia punya people who do the layout. Okay. So timeline, so as I mentioned earlier, 1 to 2 years on average, boleh siap satu buku. So the other thing, because of this timeline, it's not like research paper where you look at, the information is very current. Masa kita buat buku ni, information dia current, like we take. But after 2 years, right, let's say it's now 2022. So kata buku kita keluar 2 years after. So it'll be 2024. But at the time of writing, your information is relatively new. Tapi at the time of publication, it's a bit outdated. Dah dekat 2 tahun. Tapi we can't help it because that's how books are. Unlike research papers, journal papers, they're different because the time taken may be shorter. Okay. So buku ni memang macam like what you write, and then by the time you publish, dia ni sikit lah the references that we use. It's not our fault, because we do it now, but the time taken. So I mean that's okay because it's a book. Okay. Marketing, with publishers, senang lah. Kita ada, they will do the promotion, So this also you have to discuss. For us, they do everything. One of the benefits of working with Oxford ni, they buat semua. They promote, they distribute, they have their own distributors, tak payah. Kita paling pening nak jual buku. Because that's not what we do. We write, and then they will do the marketing and they will promote for you, they distribute the book for you. So senang cerita. We don't have to worry about all these things. Because these things, they are very, because you see, no matter how good your book is, when the book is not marketed in the right manner, what's the point? Kan? Tak ada ni pun. Buku tu sebagus mana pun, if there's the marketing tak ada, so siapa nak baca buku kita? Orang yang dah sedia ada market pun duk gagah macam tu. Kalau tak market langsung, how? That is the important thing that we have to consider. Okay, promotion and book distribution. Nanti akibatnya bukanlah kita nak duit, tapi royalty tu pun tak ada lah. You buat susah payah, bukan kita nak mengharapkan duit tu. But when you don't sell, that's it. Nanti yang publisher pun tak buat, depa pun tak buat duit. Kita tak apa sebab we have, this is not the main thing that we do. Our money doesn't come from selling books, right? So for us, it doesn't affect us that much, but for them, so marketing promotion. So choose the right publisher who can help you. So I will be showing you a bit about UiTM Press. I think they'll be able to you'll be able to have get some ideas there. Okay, so royalty, author benefits, that they will also give you, like free copies. Okay, can you buy at the cost price and so on. Okay. Title of the book. Okay, title ni macam lebih kurang macam buat thesis lah. Title dia akan datang di penghujung. In the beginning, do not worry so much about the title. Title tu memang tak akan dapat. The title you will just macam orang kata dapat wahyu lah di penghujung je. Di awal-awal tu memang blur. Okay, so we do not know yet. We just focus on all the chapters first, semua tu. Lepas tu, at the end, we will get the title. Okay, so the title will come and it's supposed to be, at least 3 to 4 keywords or so. I think that should be fine. Okay, cover, yes, like I told you, it should be attractive. The colors that they use, because when they place your books in the bookshops, the bookstores, it attracts attention. People have a look at it. Okay, so basically these are the things in the book: acknowledgement, and then the contents, and also the content also references. Okay, the last part here, the blurb. Yang ni I think mulanya sebelum buat buku saya pun tak tahu, but after writing the book, then I know such a word existed. Okay, so it's always a learning process. Blurb is actually a short description of the book written by the people who have produced it, and intended to make people want to buy. So something like this. Then when we have the book, the cover, at the back, usually it's at the, I've taken this from this link. Okay, this is one example. A blurb is the text on back cover of a book. It is a summary of the story. It aims to get the reader interested in buying or reading the book. This one, kepentingan dia macam ramai tak pentingkan the blurb. So when people, they go to the bookstores, they pick up your book. Okay, first the cover, the title and all that. And then dalam tu, they will just go through macam to look at the pages. And then you will notice or not, lepas tu dia akan tengok the last page, belakang tu, the back cover. So the back cover is the blurb. So the blurb will give them information about the book and also about the writer. Sebab most of the publishers, dia akan letak a bit of the writers or the author's biodata dekat blurb ni. Kalau dia tengok, let's say economy, dia professor, doctor, senior lecturer apa semua, and then they, for that, if it's academic book, okay, then they will buy the book macam tu. Tapi whether they like it or not is a different thing. But at least that will give them, some kind of information about the book. So the blurb is very important. Ramai yang, they macam remeh blurb ni, is tak penting. Actually, it's also penting. I didn't know until we, we didn't know until we wrote the book as well. Okay. So benda-benda kecil macam ni, it's like, everything is not as fancy as it looks like. So small things actually matters. Then after that, only it also struck me that, even I do the same thing. When you go to a bookstore, right? Even novels and all that, you always look at the blurb, see who is the writer, where are they from, what is their expertise, their area of interest. Okay, so that is one thing. Benda tu kecil, tapi dia punya impact tu besar. Okay, this is the first book that I wrote with Associate Professor Aloya Johari. Okay, so as I mentioned, I mean, a working relationship is very important. So we did developing reading skills with Oxford. Then it comes with they asked us to do, together with the book for Oxford, they asked you to do the slides as well. So we had to come up with the teaching PowerPoint slides. So those who use the book are able to use the slides as well, the lecturers. Okay. And then for students, you have the tests and all the additional activities. So we started, this was printed in 2017, okay, about 5 years ago. And then we got an email from them saying that they want us to work on the second edition. Because for me personally, first edition ni banyak benda yang kita tak tahu. We're still learning at that time, especially on my end. Okay, so so we want to improvise. We agreed. Okay, then we worked on it. Unfortunately, the pandemic, COVID-19 started, and Oxford decided to stop all local publication, local writers. Diorang tak mau berhenti terus. Okay, they were only selling books. So kami dah siap dah ni semua. We cannot, so we couldn't proceed. Okay, and it was because the time was too short. So the next, we had. Okay, so these are some of the key features. All right. In the book, this is also at the blurb of the book. So all these will sort of maybe attract attention of the readers. Okay. I think these are all okay. Test. Okay, the last point here, suggested answers. Benda ni pun sometimes kita tak fikir sangat. When we write a book, especially if the book comes with exercises, ada soalan, latihan, answers kena usaha juga bagi buat, kena masukkan answer. Because one of the things, right, when people buy the book, ada jawapan tak dalam tu. Especially, so it saves time because those who are teaching, and if it's for self-learning, if the students, you ask them to do, they can also check the answers. But, we have to tell them, do first and check the answers, not check the answers and fill in the blanks. Okay. So answers ni macam another part of the book that is not really highlighted so much. Okay. The answers too, I think is, if you have tests and so on, it's better to answer, to have the answers. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit difficult. This can also be a deciding factor when people, whether they would like to buy your books or not. Oh, kalau tak ada jawapan, tak maulah buku ni sebab malas nak cari jawapan. No, I'm talking about the real things, buku tu bagus, but because of one small part, one small what do you call, macam misgiving kat sana, dia tak ada jawapan. Oh, buku bagus tapi susah lah dengan kerja apa semua. Every time we have to, we have to get look for the answer. We have to come up with the answers. Okay. So and then tak maulah cari buku lain, senang sikit ada jawapan. It's not orang malas. It's not that, I'm not implying that in any way, because it's the kind of lifestyle that we have. And we are teaching, especially with books, there are so many codes, so many subjects and so on. Kalau satu-satu nak karang jawapan, habis macam tu. It's also time factor. Okay. Answer also plays an important role. We only knew that, when after writing. Before that, okay lah. As long content tu ada, semua dah okay, everything is good, it's fine. No. Answers also. Okay, this is the second one.
Bawani, sorry, before you talk about the second book, we have one question from Google Meet here. Should index be included for academic book?
I think it should, but also check with the publisher how they want to go about doing it. Most of the time, yes, they do have the index.
All right.
Okay. I think should be included. But whatever it is, the different publishing house, they have different ways of doing, different way of doing things. So it's always good to find out. Okay.
The next question related to the just now. So author will decide on the words in the index.
Yes. Because we are writers, actually, we have control. We have control over what we want to write. So I think it should be fine. If you think, okay, these are the things that you want to include in your book, go ahead. By all means, ask the publisher. Saya nak masukkan ni dalam buku saya. Macam mana? Okay. So if they agree, because we are the writers, we are responsible for the book. If anything goes wrong with the book, people, dia tak kata pun publisher yang salah. Right? They will, the first thing yang nampak tu author, penulis tu, I mean, dia balik kat kita jugalah. So
responsibility
responsibility of being a writer. So whatever you think, you stand your ground. Okay, you stand your ground. Whatever you think, okay, saya nak masukkan benda ni ada. Of course lah kita berpatutan lah kan. Be rational about it. Put your foot down if you think, okay, this is what you want to put, because I cannot give a generalized, a common answer for everybody because each area is different. Yang penulisan kita, bidang kita lain-lain. So yang buat, let's say ekonomi ke, yang buat sains politik, yang buat English, management, so different. Saya nak cakap bagi pihak, minta maaf lah, saya bukan pakar. Tapi whatever you do, you think it's right for you and your area of expertise, interest, your content, subject matter, then you stand your ground, you say, okay, this is how it's done. Okay, boleh saja cek dengan penerbit. Di masa ni lah antivirus muncul on the screen. I have this thing like even the slightest things like like mouse will give me a problem during presentation. It's just my luck. Okay, let me go back to the screen. Is it okay, Wawa, now?
Okay, nampak dah.
But Wawa, I listen to your advice. Tutup WhatsApp, all semua dah tutup. Nanti, halfway through the presentation, then you have WhatsApp beeping sound.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so this is the next book. So the changes actually we made, it also depends. 30% should be fine. But as I mentioned earlier, we started with Oxford. So they asked us to come up with the second edition. Kalau ikutkan Oxford hari tu, they asked us to change 50% of the text and also the exercises. Maksudnya chapter 1, semua 50% kena tukar. The notes, the examples, and also the tests, the questions, exercises. Let's say you have let's say 6, right? 6 exercises, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 3 tu boleh simpan lah kira, and then the 50% kena tukar, and then the content also. Yang ni pening. When we think that job, your task is getting easier, your load is getting lesser, bertambah jugalah beban, beban in a positive way lah. We don't look at it negatively. 50%, half the book you have to change. So satu kerja jugalah this one, you have to look into it again. It doesn't mean for me, buku tu second edition, of course you can also add, but in terms of the changes, yes, the changes means the addition and whatever that you want to remove from the book. Tapi 50% tu, that's what they told us, so we went ahead with that 50% changes. And then the next, what we did was, besides the content, the changes that we made to the content, we also reduced the chapters because we found like the one I did, chapter 1, chapter 2, it was sort of redundant. So we merged it to one chapter. So benda ni we will always see once the book is out and, when we read and all that. Okay. And I found that, I was not, for me personally, my part, I was not so happy with what I did. I thought I could have done better. But because lack of experience for the first book, because first time writing a book, macam rasa tak berapa, not so contented or not so, rasalah ada benda yang kita nak ni. So the second book sort of gave me the opportunity, let's do, try. Sebab benda tu kita dah tahu how to go about doing it, so it sort of helped. Tapi in terms of the workload, I'm quite sorry to say that the 50% didn't make it any lighter, didn't make the workload any lighter. Boleh tahan jugalah not to say siang malam lah, kalau weekend sampai to awal pagi ke macam tu, sometimes you have to do, because weekdays memang tak boleh. Okay, so we have to put it to the weekend. But I, again, as I told you just now, so not at the expense of the family and so on, we still, continue, right? And this we also do. Just like writing papers, doing research and so on. Okay, the next part is the ISBN, International Standard Book Number. All right, so I've taken this from our Kedah website, UiTM Kedah. because we have one for the UiTM Press under UiTM Press ni publication. So under publication, so we have ISBN. Then we also have ISSN. ISSN ni what from my reading ni dia untuk terbitan bersiri. Okay, it's not a book. It can be a book bersiri rasanya. So I'm not so sure about this ISSN. Bolehlah semak. I have the what you call the link, the page dah open dah tadi. Later I will show you. And then this PDP. PDP pun bukan. I'm just giving you what's in the list, so you can always check this out. Okay. So yang the common one that we use is of course the ISBN. Okay, for books. So for this you don't have to worry. So later publisher will arrange everything for you. Dia akan bagi they will get the number for you, so we don't have to worry about this. To kalau self-publish, yes. So these are some of the considerations if you do self-publishing. Okay, so this one I got it from the Perpustakaan Negara website. So yang ni saya copy paste lah dengan I cited the link. Okay, so ISBN for both e-book and also a physical book, and then percuma, and the penerbit cannot sell the ISBN, okay, that is given to them. So we cannot buy ISBN. So it's from the publisher once they have the book. So berapa muka surat yang melayakkan permohonan ISBN? So untuk kategori bahan dewasa, minimum 32 termasuk kulit luar, kanak-kanak 16. Okay, so this is about ISBN. I thought that was I copy pasted this one. I rasa macam menarik jugalah. Bolehkah saya memohon ISBN di Malaysia dan menerbitkan buku di negara lain? Tak boleh. If from here you have to publish it here. Okay. Jika ingin menerbitkan buku di negara lain, penerbit boleh memohon from that particular country. So kalau Malaysia, only Malaysia. You cannot get the ISBN and then you use the ISBN and publish in other countries. So all this will be in the depository Perpustakaan Negara. Or you can check with your respective press. Okay. So walau bagaimanapun, buku yang telah diterbitkan di Malaysia boleh dijual, okay, di negara lain. So you have come up with your book. Okay, your book is published here. If you want to, from my understanding, if you want to sell to in other countries, boleh je. Rasa tak ada masalah. Contohnya mungkin you want to sell it to Singapore or Thailand atau negara lain, boleh lah. I think shouldn't be an issue. Oh, okay. This one UiTM. So saya dah tanya Dr. Aziz hari tu nak minta using. Okay. So saya first of all I'm not I'm not a member of the press, tapi saya ambil ini dari UiTM Kedah website publication. So one of the important, the other day there was an email, buku akademik dan buku akademik is best you terbitkan bawah MAPIM, iaitu Majlis Penerbitan Ilmiah Malaysia. So for UiTM, nanti kenaikan pangkat and all that, it's better for if you print it publish under MAPIM. Sorry, let me hold on. Let me show you the MAPIM those. Sorry. Okay, I share with you. Wawa, nampak ke yang this one?
Okay, nampak.
Okay. So saya just to this is more of a sharing. Saya bukannya untuk I don't represent UiTM press, okay? But these are all the information in the website. So this is MAPIM. MAPIM is Majlis Penerbitan Ilmiah Malaysia. So untuk kenaikan pangkat dan sebagainya, please check with your respective campuses, okay? For Kedah macam ni lah, we are encouraged definitely to publish under MAPIM. So MAPIM ni just go through quickly, DBP, Penerbit UM, USM, UKM, UPNM, UMK, UNIZA, UNIMAP, UPM, UTM, USIP, UIA, UMP, UTHM, UMT, of course our university, UiTM and Uni KL. So yang ni lah ahli-ahli MAPIM. So you can always Google, right? Everything is there. So kalau yang berminat, you just directly go to their web page and contact them lah. Dia akan patutnya bagi you will get some ideas on their publication. Okay. So yang for those aiming for promotion and all that, MAPIM lah kalau kita punya UiTM punya requirement. So requirement, I think you better check time to time. Saya bukannya, I don't have any say on that. So that is the, okay. And one more is the, let me go back. Let me present one more is the tab 4. Okay, I'll share this one. Okay, this is where I got the information. So I'll give you just showing you. So this is from the Perpustakaan Negara, the depository. So adalah banyak, the one I took was from here. Ada banyak maklumat dalam ni, ISBN. Of course, the publishers, they buat semua. Okay, they will arrange everything for you. But it's okay if you want to read, get an idea. So see what kind of permohonan diterima, tidak diterima. So pengedar, penjual, pencetak, are they able to get ada layak memohon? So all this. Boleh tahan juga dia punya information lah. So for me, I just take from the sources that are valid and credible. Okay, but I don't claim whether the factual information should be correct lah kan. Tapi saya minta maaf lah ya kalau saya ada salah silap dekat mana-mana because saya bukan authority penerbitan. Just because of the book, so I'm sharing with you. So rajin-rajin lah boleh masuk web page. Okay, so go back to the presentation. Habis dah kot. Sekejap ya.
7 minit lagi. Sempat.
Nampak no? Wow, okay ya, this one?
Yes, nampak.
So also MAPIM here, this is, I took it from the UiTM Kedah publication. Okay, this is the publication process. Ni pun saya ambil dari website UiTM Kedah, so I acknowledge that. So press, so these are the things, publication process, review manuscript, okay, technical review, expert review, then you have agreement, content editing, language editing, copy editing, typesetting, layout, cover design, proofreading, the dummy, print, physical and digital, and then you have the sales. So bolehlah yang rakan-rakan kita yang berminat, I mean any book that you want to publish, that you can contact UiTM Press. Okay, so basically this is the process, which is quite, I mean it's the standard process lah. Okay, so ambil masa juga tu because to and fro. Alright, next one. Proses penghantaran dan penerbitan buku, also I took it from the web page. So the mula manuskrip, isi borang, okay, ada yang kena minta pengesahan from the RP. So kita buatlah ikut procedure. Okay, so please check this. Saya ni sekadar bagi information saja dan saya harapkan information buat masa ni betul lah kan, tak ada perubahan. So but these are always maybe subject to changes or what, I'm not so sure. So please check with the UiTM Press or your respective unit penerbitan. Yang ni saya ambil dari also took from the penerbit UiTM, the Q&A. So royalty berapa royalty yang diberi pada penulis for UiTM 15%. Okay. And then kalau beli buku sendiri dapat discount 40%. But then here, buku yang dibeli dengan discount 40% tidak akan mendapat royalty. So I think you can discuss with them and decide what you want. Okay. Tapi macam mana pun jangan lupa income tax tetap kena bayar. Bila dapat royalty, you have to declare income tax kena. Nanti takut dia it's not, you know, sometimes kita tak ingat benda tu because, but you have, there's a column if you notice for royalty. I did notice that after we wrote the book. So you have to declare income tax, kena bayar jugalah macam mana pun. So it's up to you. So apakah syarat bagi manuskrip diterbitkan? So I think they will go through your manuskrip first. So aspek penilaian, kandungan, bahasa, potensi jualan, keboleh pasaran. Okay, I think potensi jualan as I told you, because that's what they do, you know. I mean, that's what, I mean, the money, the income, okay? So whether the book can sell or not. If the book is really good, memang hebat sungguh, tapi tak ada pasaran, it's going to be difficult, okay? Because cost tu, ada cost untuk terbitkan buku, then, you know, they have to pay people, all those people who are working for them. So I think it's only fair that we consider that, okay? Okay. So publishers lain, I'm not so sure. This is your UiTM Press that I took from the web. Adakah editor layak mendapat royalty? But here it says editor tidak layak mendapat royalty. Walau bagaimanapun mereka layak mendapat diskaun belian. How about pembeli lain? Pembeli lain, like people like us, right? If we are not writing, so you can always buy. So UiTM selalu bagi 10 to 20%, and then during the sale, jualan luar 20 to 80%. Okay. I think this was quite interesting. Adakah sebarang kos dikenakan terhadap penulis? Buat masa ni tiada sebarang kos dikenakan kepada penulis. Segala kos akan ditanggung oleh penerbit UiTM. Okay. Kerana penerbit UiTM akan menerbitkan secara e-book sahaja. Buku yang diterbitkan, okay, this one answering the question somebody asked earlier just now. So, buku yang diterbitkan secara fizikal, bercetak adalah buku mempunyai geran. So, you have to buy back the books. Okay, please check with UiTM Press. Dan juga buku yang mempunyai bajet dari fakulti jabatan. So, buku-buku ini akan dibeli semula oleh penulis. So, I think e-book, penerbit UiTM only terbitkan e-book. Yang lain tu physical, then is more on the buyback concept. So please clarify with UiTM Press. Okay. So tempoh masa manuskrip siap, like what I mentioned earlier also, a year and a half to 2. Okay, I think max about 2 years. Okay, then should be fine. Okay, copyright ISBN, penerbit UiTM akan menguruskan semualah, so kita tak payahlah kalut for all this, you know, ISBN and so on. Okay, sebarang kos, okay. Semua manuskrip yang that was the same question as just now. Semua manuskrip yang dihantar untuk diterbitkan perlu disunting bahasa terlebih dahulu. Mohon sertakan surat atau email dari penyunting bahasa sebagai bukti manuskrip telah diedit bahasa. Okay, so for your UiTM Press, I think this is one of the requirement. You have to submit the letter from language editors that the manuscript has been edited in terms of the language. Okay, disunting bahasa. So we cannot send manuscripts that has, you know, not been edited by language editors. So kena sertakan surat. So I think that also you can contact them. Okay. Adakah terbitan secara e-book akan mengambil masa yang sama dengan fizikal? According to your UiTM Press, yes. The time frame will be about the same. Tapi ni bergantung lah. This is a very kind of a subjective thing, but it should be. But here it says it should be about the same. Okay. So how about proceeding di bawah penerbit UiTM? Tidak lagi menerbitkan proceeding dan abstract sejak 2011. Okay, keutamaan kepada buku teks serta buku yang diguna pakai oleh pelajar dalam kelas. Sekiranya sudah mohon ISBN, bukan diuruskan oleh penerbit UiTM, bolehkah terbit di bawah penerbit UiTM? That means you have, you know, you have started with someone else, a different publisher, then now you want to move on, continue or proceed with penerbit UiTM. So then our UiTM Press will arrange, you know, they will get you, I think, the permohonan. Okay, they will menguruskan permohonan ISBN bagi buku tersebut. Okay, cetakan minimum. Okay, this is another consideration. You can check with the publishers, like how many books that they want to print. Okay, some they kena clarify with the publisher. Like here, this is UiTM Press. For other publishers, please check with them. Okay, but if you for kenaikan pakar, all that is better. We publish under MAPIM. Okay. So here it says 200 minimum on average 200 copies. Okay. Then what they say, berbalik pada persetujuan bersama penulis bagi okay this buyback and everything, you can check with them. Sekiranya buku dicetak sedikit, harga buku, I mean this is a basic theory, right? Okay, so the lesser the number, then of course the price will increase. Okay? So you have other publishers also yang kita takut tu, dia cakap ribu-ribu nak kena print ha. I think that is so all these things you have to jot down, and this is why the meeting with the publisher is very important. We write the books and everything. Suddenly we need to, you need to buy back 1,000 copies. Writer pun pengsan terus. How are we going to sell, buy back that, let's say 1,000, contoh lah kan. So kena clarify benda-benda ni lah. These are all the technical parts. So it's not only about writing the book, it's about, so please check with them, confirm the terms. Macam mana minimum cetakan, is it buyback or is it, they will sell, they will do everything for you. Okay, kalau buku tu tak jual macam mana? That the next question. This is also for me one of the concern. They print, right, let's say 500 books, 200 books. Kalau buku tu laris jual, okay lah, syukur lah. Kalau tak jual, how? Kita nak beli, letak dalam bilik pun dah penuh. I think my room no more, no more space to put things also. So what will happen to the excess, the books yang tak dijual? Because we cannot say buku ni semua boleh laku. So kalau e-book tu is not a problem, right? It's not an issue. Okay. So this is also for UiTM Press, it's also buyback oleh penulis lah. So please consider all this. Tapi e-book ni macam, very promising macam tu lah. So for e-book, tiada konsep buyback untuk e-book. So mostly for physical UiTM Press, so please check with them. So penulis akan mendapat free access untuk e-book yang telah diterbitkan. Okay, this slide, because there was an error earlier on, so I did change. Okay, so UiTM, penerbit UiTM they will buat promosi through their laman web, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, and juga email UiTM. Okay, and then the cover page, so UiTM, penerbit UiTM juga akan menyediakan reka bentuk kulit. But if you have suggestions, I think you can inform them. Akan dibawa ke mesyuarat eksekutif penerbit UiTM untuk keputusan. I think they will have a meeting and decide whether the cover that you prefer is okay, right? So this is the UiTM. Okay, so these are the books, where you can purchase the books. So the Shopee, semua dah ada lah sekarang. Okay, e-book, okay. They have this Mind apps and then Google Playbook, eCentral. Or you can go to the Kedai Buku and Isya Alam and to also get the books. Okay, or you can purchase it online. Ini untuk penerbit UiTM lah. Saya minta maaf lah kalau ada sebarang, because I've taken this from the web page, okay? Because I think we as lecturers in UiTM, kita kena, we have to support penerbit UiTM jugalah. And MAPIM, as listed tadi, ramai most of the public universities tu dah disenaraikan dalam MAPIM. Okay, so you can, because I think even our colleagues here, they have published with UUM and other universities as well. So it shouldn't be it's a good move. Okay, so finally, before I end our session or conversation for today, so it's just something that, a quote. You don't write because you want to say something, you write because you have something to say. It needs like a few times to get this, but other than that, I had to read this a few times too, so that's why I decided to choose this. Okay, so you write because you have something to say. Okay, I think
That's all.
I think, yeah, that's all. Let me. Yeah, I think that's all, Dr. Syazwanie, for today. So kalau ada soalan apa-apa, if you want to ask, because we are almost out of time.
Okay,
So,
setakat ni dekat Google Meet tak ada.
I don't know.
Dekat YouTube ada satu tapi bukan soalan lah Bawani. Dia kata saya suka Encik Zana Kifli cakap saya suka dengan Puan cakap utara.
Oh.
Lepas ni kalau buat webinar boleh cakap utara Bawani.
No, sebab benda ni memang dia ikut dengan kita. Dia tak boleh lari mana. I mean, sebab you know, being an Indian, right? Kalau orang Kedah ni dia memang macam ni lah kan. Kita lidah kita kot mana pun dia belit kot Kedah juga. So I think that's quite a standard thing lah. And I think you know, when Cik Zul said that, I think we should be, I mean, not to, I would, certain extent is the wrong thing to say. We should be proud about our national language, right?
Yeah, true.
Because we are Malaysian. Kalau tak boleh cakap Melayu ni, tak tahulah nak cerita macam mana kan. So I think that's attendance pun dah bagi, no, semangat mai sebab attendance boleh sign.
Oh, kejap, lagi satu bawah ni, soalan daripada YouTube juga, ada dua sebenarnya. After finishing doing the book print out, we accidentally detect a small grammatical error. What can be done?
Okay, honest answer, nothing.
Okay.
Makan hati je lah. Orang kata kalau cakap Melayu kan, makan hati macam, yeah, we did spot that, you know, like I did. It was, as I told you, it was not intentional. You know, after the checking and all that, ada juga benda yang kita silap. But we cannot do anything because if it's physical book, e-book I'm not so sure. Please check with the publishers. Macam kami physical book dah terbit, tapi nampak jugalah a few things that you're not happy or that you want to change, and then kena you can't do much because they have already, it's a lot of work for them before they print your book. So memang tak boleh nak buat apa masa tu. So the redemption is the second edition. Kalau nak buat redemption, you want to, you know, do some kind of second edition ni baru kita boleh perbetulkan apa yang silap. So that is why, sorry if I may take a few minutes. So that is why when the book, you will only, the other thing is you will only know, first the person says he or she identified the mistake. Herself or himself. Yang tu satu. Number two, the other one identified by other people who are using your book. Okay, so when friends, students, other academics, you know, if they are using your book, they know you, they will contact you and say there are errors here. Tapi orang tak kenal kita, dia tak cakap lah. Tapi bila orang yang kenal kita, dia akan bagi tahu, alah ada salah-salah sini. Lagilah terkejut. Kalau berdiri mungkin pitam lah kot. Kalau duduk tu boleh lagi lah. So semua you have to list down. That's another thing. Penambah baikkan, kena list down. Kita had ni semua kena next edition. Kalau ada peluang kita perbetulkan semua. Yes. Somebody said something. Cik Ainul ke?
Ya, betul. I think publisher ada acceptable margin of errors dalam buku, macam typo or grammatical error.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. There's never, you know, you can never get a perfect book. Dia mesti ada benda kan. Jangan katalah quite close lah, like 95 to 97. The error tu 3%, you know, max about 5% or so. Mestilah tak ada lah yang full proof, yang tak ada salah langsung tu. Kita manusia biasa, mesti ada somewhere something yang tak kena. So kita orang kata tawakal je lah kot.
Edisi kemas gini.
Yes, kena kemas gini lah second edition. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, it's almost time. Okay, I would like to thank Dr. Syazwanie, right, for helping me out with the session. Okay, semua sahabat-sahabat baik ni yang datang, and also the other colleagues, friends, you know, lecturers from and staff from other departments, other faculties. Thank you so much for your support. So I wish everyone the best, and you know, we can keep writing. There'll be something, you know, academic or non-academic, there's something in store for us. So just keep on doing and keep on writing. Okay, so thank you very much. Selamat Hari Raya again. So lain kali kalau nak cakap utara, kalau drama bolehlah jemput saya. Siapa nak buat drama cakap utara, so ada calon pelakon.
Seorang watak utama.
Alright, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Alright. sebelum kita berakhir, saya rasa kita pergi ke slot sekejap saja yang seterusnya, iaitu kita minta semua peserta untuk on kamera masing-masing untuk sesi ambil gambar sekejap lah, walaupun kita secara virtual ataupun online ya. Saya rasa semua orang walaupun tak on kamera, rasanya semua di
nak
tempat
tengok
kerja
jugalah.
masing-masing.
Nak tengok
Mungkin
jugalah
ada yang
muka.
mungkin
Cik
ada yang pakai
Nelson,
baju
Mr.
raya
Nelson
ke.
already on, but you're in dark, Mr. Nelson, can't see anything.
Kalau kita hari ni Khamis, lepas ni kita separuh hari ya, Bawani, mungkin ada yang dah pakai baju raya nak pergi beraya lepas ni.
Ni solat dulu.
Solat dulu. Tengok
Zohor,
Bawani.
right? Zohor.
Puan Bawani yang ingatkan kita tentang solat ni.
No lah, already one duk sembang-sembang. Rancak duk 1:10 already. What time is Zohor? Is it Zohor?
1:20 something, 1:24.
Okay, elok lah nak dekat Zohor. Okay.
Ramai dah on camera.
Okay. Oh, semua ada yang duk dalam kapal terbang. Seronok lah tu. Dr. Nur Hazrina. In spaceship, Dr. Muhammad Hanif. Thank you so much, Dr. Rohani. Yang on camera yang saya nampak lah. Saya ni tadi cakap dengan Wawa, on camera muka besar macam talam. I found my face was like lebar. Tapi tak apalah.
No problem.
Gembira. Okay, boleh tangkap gambar lah.
Encik Azlan dah ready lah. Encik Azlan yang ready ni ambil gambar ni sebenarnya. Encik Azlan dah ready ke?
Pause kita ambil gambar.
Done.
Okay, ready, dah.
Wait, another more. One more.
Lagi sekali.
Okay, give the best smile to the camera, everybody. 1, 2, 3, got it done. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. That is Cik Azlan, our KPP. Thank you, Cik Azlan, bagi peluang kat saya.
Most welcome, Akak.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Saya ni akak juga, akak kawasan.
Alright, one last word. On behalf of Academy of Language Studies, UiTM Kedah and ILD UiTM Kedah, we would like to thank all of the participants for joining us today through Google Meet, Facebook, and also YouTube. Thank you very much, and we really appreciate that actually. And please stay tuned for many or other webinar series from us from time to time. And information will be shared through our email and also ILD UiTM Kedah FB page and also ILD YouTube channel. And again, special thanks to our speaker today, Madam Bawani. Thank you so much, Bawani.
Welcome.
I think that's all from all of us. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone.